So the RoboCat metaphor, if you could maybe think about a robot riding on top of a cat and it has reins. And so it can like pull the cat and try to get it to do what it wants, but not very well. And it runs out of battery power. It's a way to describe how your brain works. And I did actually write a book. It's called Your Brain is a RoboCat. Finally understand your trauma response. You can find it on Amazon. Just look up RoboCat book. But what we're talking about is how your robot is totally logical, totally rational, and it's your speech and your analysis and logic and stuff like that. Well, of course. So it's not what makes you who you are. And you need more than logic to be just a good trader. The cat part of you is your emotions and your intuition and your personality. So you're better than AI at trading because of your cat. But right now, what we need to do is help your cat. Everybody else tries to get you to think more logically or whatever, or to address cat problems by talking to your robot. And that's where I'm different. So they're two entirely different brain systems. They work at the same time, however, and it's great when they're both going in the same direction, but it can drive you crazy and cost you a lot of money when they don't. And this is what my therapy is all about. So psychologists haven't had a way to talk to the cat directly, but that changed when these eye movements were discovered. And then, of course, there's EMDR, and they don't make use of the eye movements in a good way at all. But it's been around for a long time, and if you want to study it, you can. So I need you to understand this metaphor, not just logically, but also at a deeper level. You know, like when you have one of those aha moments, you're understanding it on a subconscious level. So move your eyes right now and picture your cat wanting to fight something. Maybe your cat is a tiger right now, and your robot is riding on its back, trying to pull it back, but it can't quite so much. So what is just try to picture that image, please. All right, take a deep breath. So you know the robot can influence the cat, but only to a point. It runs out of battery power, then the tiger or cat is just too powerful. And that protective part of you takes over, that fight or flight system that you have. And when that does, it's kind of like you're under a spell, right? I mean, like you're not really thinking logically. I used to do couples therapy and I would tell people if you're losing your shit, don't try to have a rational argument and prove your point. You're not thinking logically, and then you're going to make your partner not think logically either, and you're both your unfinished emotional business is just going to be crashing up against each other. And it's kind of like you're under a spell. I mean, you don't really have full control, but you feel like you do. It's just crazy, isn't it? So what I'd like for you to do for this next set of eye movements is to just picture times in your life in which that has happened. All right. So I had to do that so that you would really understand the points that I'm making on a deeper level. Like, you know, when you have an aha moment, that's like your cat brain that's responding to something. And it can happen sometimes from robot stimulation, but when I have people move their eyes after I have them think about something, it really kind of cements in their brain and they internalize it and they can feel it much better. So let's just do a warm up set. Make sure your eyes are close enough to the screen, and then let's just have you center yourself. Just notice what you're feeling right now and where it is in your body. All right, good job. Deep breath. And now I'd like for you to think back to what first attracted you to trading. Was it the external rewards, like making money or feeling like a big shot? Or I'm thinking there's also an intrinsic reason too, because you just like it, just because you like it. So, what is it about trading that you like when it's going well? Try to get in touch with that, please. Yeah, so with extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation, they did a study where kids read a certain amount over the summer, and then they paid the kids the next summer to read. And of course you'd think that they would read a lot more because that's what makes sense to your robot, but they read much less because the intrinsic motivation was replaced by the extrinsic. It started to feel like a job, so they didn't do it. So why do you trade? I mean, the reason I do my job is because it's really interesting. Like when I was doing therapy, I would love it when somebody would come through the door and I'd be like, "Oh man, what new puzzle do we have to work with now?" And of course, I was helping a lot of people, but I couldn't make that the source of my motivation because I'm not going to wake up and like, "Oh, I'm going to save the world today." Imagine how arrogant that would make me. I mean, with the amount of people that I've helped, oh my God. Anyway, so let's remove the outcome of your trades. What do you just like about trading? Is it the intellectual challenge? Is it fun? How excited do you get at times? And can you feel that excitement in your body? Try to get in touch with that right now, please. All right. Now, did you know that fear and excitement are very similar physiologically? So we often feel both at the same time, but then we misinterpret it and we just attribute all of it to fear. So excitement gives us energy, but it can also trigger your fight or flight system because it's activating and it works off of adrenaline. Sometimes we want that, but right now we don't. So if you're trading for fun, that's one thing, but I designed this program to help you make as much money as possible, at least enough to justify paying me. So, for this next set of eye movements, please think about how excitement can sometimes get in the way of making wise decisions. All right, good. So now please move your eyes again and just try to dial down your nervous system. Just relax, soothe yourself, think about your favorite place, your favorite person, or whatever it takes. All right, deep breath. Do you like watching college basketball? I do because the kids get so excited, but that doesn't necessarily help them win. It's a whole other thing when you have to play a 7 game series against a team of adults in the NBA. I went to UConn and I've always been a Celtics fan. Oh, wait, did they both just win national championships? Ho! Anyway, you do want to be excited sometimes, but think about how the best college team would do against the worst pro team. Their skill level might be close, but their mental makeup is totally different. So, over a 7 game series, the college kids wouldn't stand a chance. Just try to imagine that and how that would apply to you. When things go well, you can hit dizzying emotional highs, but then you get exhausted. When things don't go well, you might want to abandon your game plan and try to play hero ball. Sometimes you can get lucky doing that. Have you ever gotten lucky by going off script and doing whatever you wanted? Like, have you hit it big with a trade without even really meaning to or without following your plan? Move your eyes and see if that's true, or you can remember a time in which you did that. And what did that feel like? Actually, I think that's one of the worst things that can happen to a trader because you need to have discipline and you need to follow your trading plan. And if you get rewarded for going off of it, then it's not going to make you want to do that. I mean, the people who develop gambling addictions have a very positive outcome the first time they do it. Like if you go to a casino and you hit it big on your first night there, you might be addicted to casinos for the rest of your life. So I'm just asking you to be aware of how much you've been conditioned positively to go off your script, and for you to try to talk to your cat right now and tell it that that's really not good. We do need to stick to the plan. Let's see if you can do that, please. I do really hope you were able to see that because that's super important. And if you have that problem, then we're going to have to work on that. How much faith do you really have in your system? That's another question. If you ask yourself while your eyes are moving, it's like a shortcut to your subconscious and it will give you a true answer. So be honest with yourself without judgment. Just ask yourself, how much confidence do you really have in your trading plan? And if you don't have a trading plan, what the hell are you doing? Ask yourself why that is. So, I never give specific trading advice because I'm not an authority on that. And if I tell you to do something, then you're probably going to hold the side of why you shouldn't do it. And then if you did do what I said, then you could blame me, whatever. So, what I do is I help people follow their own advice. I help people reinforce intentions that they already had. But if you don't feel 100% comfortable with your system, then you have to do something about that. So let's start with, how do you really want to feel about your game plan? And then ask your heart what needs to happen for you to commit to it. And I'll just remind you that you can't be looking for a savior in a system. You're going to have plenty of losses with the best system in the world. How do you want to feel when you have that rock solid faith in it that it will pay off in the long run? Go ahead and move your eyes and get into that, please. All right, good job. Deep breath. Excitement and greed can also steer you away from rational decisions. I cover greed in other modules, but right now I'm interested in greed's relationship to fear. Do you ever fear that you're not making enough money fast enough to reach your goals? And is that what makes you anxious or greedy? Be honest with yourself. If you are one of those people who overall makes money through trading, then I want you to feel good about being in the top 5% or whatever percentage it is of people who actually do that. Does that feel satisfying to you? And if so, spread that feeling throughout your body. But if not, I'm asking you, what standards are you holding yourself to? Who are you comparing yourself to? Why are you in such a hurry to make money faster than your system allows? All right, let's come up with a metaphor for what holds you back in your trading. It could involve excitement, fear, greed, anger, or all of them. Give whatever it is that's stopping you a shape and an identity. It could be like a character, it could be like a crushing weight on you, or a monster chasing you, or somebody in a story facing a challenge. Notice what you're feeling in your body and use that to come up with a metaphor that fits your situation. Just watch the ball and see what bubbles up from your unconscious. All right. If you didn't have anything pop up, then it might be because you're trying a little too hard or you're trying to look for something that's perfect. And if you didn't, then just go back and do it again. But just see what pops into your head and think of a situation that fits what you're feeling and what's relevant. Okay, now let's imagine the opposite. Imagine feeling free and unburdened, having fun trading, and making clear, confident decisions. What does that feel like? Really try to get into that. All right, great. Take that good feeling and spread it throughout your whole body. And now that you're feeling a little better, bring it back to the metaphor. So stay in the metaphor and find an answer to that situation as you move your eyes. Okay, I hope you're able to solve the problem in the metaphor. If not, please do it again. And if you did, then good. So let's stay with this good feeling and then apply it to what needs to happen in your life and see if you can use a little bit of your creativity to see how you can affect yourself in the present day. We're doing this to free up your mind. When you stop overthinking, it allows your creativity to shine. So now I'd like for you to imagine that you've got a system that's as good as it can be, and you do a good job of analyzing the market and you stay balanced. If you have all those things working in conjunction, how would that help you and anyone else you care about? Go ahead and think about that. All right, good. Is there somebody in your life who helps you to keep your composure? A family member or a coach? And maybe even they're not even alive anymore, or it could be somebody that you just imagine. Like, I don't know why, but when I do this type of therapy, I always think of Big Poppy on the Red Sox, David Ortiz. He comes to me and he's like, Dave, you just got I can't do a big I can't do that. Anyway, he comes and he helps me. So I would like for you to imagine some kind of a benevolent, positive presence that you can go to when you need it that can help you to ground yourself and do the right thing. All right, traders, good job today. I mean, for this session to be a complement and an adjunct to the emotional rescue part one, and I hope that it's going to help to actually prevent you from going off the rails a little bit. So I kind of threw different things at you. Hopefully, at least one of those things stick. Love to hear your feedback on any of these courses, and I wish you all the best. Take care.